bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. This famous lyric from the Broadway musical Annie makes me smile and reminds all of us that even in the most disappointing situations, one can choose optimism and create a reality that is full of opportunities. Is there a fine line between optimism and reality? There is certainly a fine line between the two, but the better question may be, what is the difference between the optimist and the realist? I believe that I am an optimist most of the time, but I do have a tendency to drift towards being a realist on occasion. I think that one can be an optimist and a realist at the same time. As human beings, we are accustomed to bad things happening, so when good things happen, a realist becomes an optimist and is excited about the things to come. You can be a realist and an optimist both. They are not exclusive of each other. Contrary to popular belief, optimists are fully aware of the bad things that can happen in our lives. Optimists get flat tires, optimists get fired from their jobs, optimists get cancer. The difference is all in how the optimist chooses to deal with these things. Optimism is defined as hopefulness and confidence about the future or the successful outcome of something. Optimism is seeing the world in the best possible light. One definition of optimism is from the German mathematician and philosopher Leibniz. He concluded that our universe is the best possible one that God could have created. What an optimistic mindset this man must have had to believe that his 17th century world was the most wonderful it could be. Remember, this was a time when getting married at 15 and dying at 40 from consumption was considered a great achievement. The creator of this world gave us a commandment in Philippians 4:8 to maintain an optimistic, not realistic mindset. Apostle Paul writes, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent, think on such things. This seems the least we can do for the privilege of living in this wonderful world." In my favorite book, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, author Betty Smith writes about a young woman's coming of age in the early 20th century. Her young heroine, Francie Nolan, describes this tree, and the reader knows it serves as a symbol of hope throughout the novel. The tree grows up through the cracks of cement because it is strong like the immigrants of Brooklyn. Francie and her brother Neely cannot afford expensive pleasures, but find joy as they visit the junk dealer, read in the library, and dream of the penny candy they will purchase with money they receive from recycling newspapers. They deal with the death of their beloved father Johnny and grieve with their devoted mother Katie. The novel continues to surprise readers with its optimism and reminds us that attitude is often only a state of mind. Another young woman whose optimism surprised the world is Anne Frank. In the classic Anne Frank, The Diary of a Young Girl, we are introduced to this positive girl whose writing has numerous examples of how optimism and courage go hand in hand. As her family faces the horrors of the Jewish Holocaust while hiding from society for years, she maintains an attitude of strength and hopefulness nearly beyond my comprehension. Anne certainly had the belief that there's only a fine line between optimism and reality when she wrote, "When you are on your bed at night, just analyze all the happenings you have been through the whole day and learn from your mistakes. You will be a better person then." Her realistic optimism has inspired generations of readers. Let's get back to one more young woman, Annie from the comic strip and Broadway show. Remember, she was orphaned and poor. She was lonely until she found the stray dog Sandy and she lived with the mean Miss Hannigan. There could hardly be worse circumstances for a little girl. She could have despised Miss Hannigan and resented being asked to serve as a scullery maid, but instead she chose an attitude of optimism. She chose positive thinking instead of merely being realistic with her other orphan sisters. She told them to hold up their chins and grin and say, "The sun will come out tomorrow." And for her, it certainly did. Because of her positive attitude and her optimistic outlook, she won over the serious Daddy Warbucks and influenced his life and his decisions. She became a member of his family and completed his life in a way that gave them both a happily ever after.